Facts First presents. When boy got on his bus, driver felt suspicious. Then he saw his feet and called 911. Timothy White drove a bus for his living. He loved the job, and he considered himself an excellent driver. One thing he particularly liked about the job was that it gave him an opportunity to connect with people from all walks of life. Some of his regular passengers were schoolchildren making their daily commute to and from school. He also drove workers and business people. With time, he got to know most of his regular passengers, and some of them even became his friends. Well, one Monday morning something strange happened to Timothy. He usually slept in early. He believed a good day begins with a good night's sleep, and that's why he always went to bed at 9 p.m. every night. He usually woke up at 5:30 a.m., so that meant that he got 8.5 hours of sleep every night. However, on this particular day he woke up an hour early, and he had a sense of anxiety. He couldn't get back to sleep, so he simply prepared early and hit the road. Shortly before he left his house, he called his parents and his two elder brothers, but they were all fine. He was thinking about this strange gut feeling of anxiety, though, that he had, and he started worrying. He tried to put the bad feelings out of his mind, but they persisted. Shortly after he started his bus rounds for the day, he picked up two strange passengers. Timothy had an excellent memory for names and faces, so he knew most of his regular passengers. This strange pair was a young man and a boy who looked to be about 7 years of age. Timothy was sure that they'd never entered his bus before, but that was not what bothered him. The boy was clearly unhappy, and the man had a furtive look on his face. As he watched them in the rearview mirror, his feelings of suspicion and anxiety increased. It was clear to Timothy that the man was trying to hush the little boy, but the boy was crying and protesting about something. And it was then that Timothy made the connection. When he could not sleep in the early hours of the day, he had listened to a news item about a missing boy. And now his instincts told him that this boy here on his bus might be that missing child. However, he was not 100% certain, so he couldn't confront the man. In any case, if the young man had kidnapped this boy, the presumed kidnapper could be dangerous. He therefore decided to adopt a cautious but smart attitude. He remembered the news flash that had mentioned the missing child, and the child was supposedly wearing a blue shirt and red socks. He couldn't see the socks of the boy's feet on his bus where he was sitting, but the shirt was clearly blue. He therefore decided to carry out a tactful investigation. He announced to his passengers that a passenger he dropped off yesterday just informed him that she'd forgotten a green backpack in the bus. So he wanted to park the bus for a moment and look around for the backpack. He assured his passengers the search would not take much time, and using this ruse, Timothy moved around the bus looking under each chair. His mind was racing when he got to where the young man and the boy were sitting. He took a close look at the boy's feet, and sure enough, the boy was wearing red socks. Now he had all the evidence he needed, but he couldn't confront or apprehend the kidnapper. Timothy thanked his passengers, went back to his seat, and thought of the next step he would take. Fortunately, all the passengers were engrossed in their own business and nobody was paying him any attention. He quietly called the police and informed an officer that he had the missing child and the presumed kidnapper on his bus. The police officer he spoke to calmly gave him some instructions. Timothy continued driving as if nothing had happened, but he was almost trembling with anticipation. He got to the exact point where the police officer had told him to stop, and he parked the bus, pretending one of his passengers was getting off. Police officers surrounded the bus, but the two officers walked into the bus and arrested the suspected kidnapper. The criminal suspect knew the game was up, so he didn't try to resist arrest. By now, all the passengers were amazed, and the little boy was crying in relief. He confirmed to the officers the man had abducted him, and the young man was taken into custody. The police officers praised Timothy for being calm under pressure. Timothy was interviewed by a local newspaper, and he became an overnight celebrity. However, he downplayed the entire incident, and he didn't understand why so many people were praising him. He said, "I have two little boys of my own, and I just did what any normal parent would do." Well, regardless, Timothy, we still consider you a hero. If you agree, click that like button and subscribe for more.